Hello, this is the presentation for the International Business Management Tutorial to Group 3, which is in the Chapter 13, which is the Strategy of International Business with the closing case of Geely Holdings, China's first global car company. Our team members is consisting of Putri Dinda Sandikta, which is me, and then Luqman Haziq, Thivyabharathi, Felicia Kyla Falyni, Lishalini Nair, Kastalani Muhammad Ilham, Briana Nadia Aurelia, Hilwa Adiba, and Riko. This presentation will be consisting of the critical thinking and discussion question, and then 10 point summary of case, and then the last one is the case discussion question. Now going to the critical thinking and discussion question.
Okay, hello. So my name is Hilwa Adiba and I'm going to answer the question number one. The question is: in a world where transportation costs are zero, trade barriers do not exist, and significant differences between nations in terms of factor condition prevail, is it essential for firms to expand internationally to ensure their survival? Discuss. Okay, in my opinion, it's really essential. Why? Okay, let's break it down. The first one, uh, the first one is why is it essential? The first one is it can leverage comparative advantage. Uh, why? So, significant difference in factor condition allows firms to locate production or sourcing in regions where resources are cheaper or more efficient. For instance, industries reliant on manual labor may move operation to countries with lower labor costs, while those requiring technological expertise might relocate to nations with a highly skilled workforce. Okay, the second reason is access to a larger markets. So expanding internationally opens up to new customer bases, enabling a firm to grow revenue and reduce reliance on their domestic markets. This is especially important in industries where domestic markets are saturated or stagnant. Okay. The third reason is to achieve economies of scales. By producing at a larger scales of globalization distribution, firms can reduce per unit costs, enhancing profitability. The lack of transportation costs makes centralizing production while serving global markets high efficient. And the fourth reason is to stay competitive. Firms that do not expand internationally risk being outperformed by competitors who can access cheaper resources, broader markets, and operational efficiencies. Global expansion can ensure firms remain on par with industry leaders. And the last answer is access to unique resource or skills. So differences in factor conditions mean that certain countries offer resources, technologies, or skills that are unavailable domestically. For example, a technology company might tap into skilled software developers in a specific region. So, next, what are our challenges of international expansion? The first one is cultural and market differences. So, firms must adapt to varying consumer preference, cultural norms, and business practices. Failure to do so can lead to market rejection. The second one is operational complexities. Managing a global supply chain, coordinating teams across geographies, and ensuring smooth communication can become a complex. And the third one is strategic relevance. Some business, such as those reliant on localized service delivery, may not benefit significantly from international expansion. Okay, so in conclusion, in this hypothetical world, international expansion is vital for firm to remain viable. The absence of transportation costs and trade barriers combined with the significant differences in factor condition creates a compelling case for a firm globalized. By leveraging competitive advantages, accessing new markets, and maintaining competitiveness, firm can position themselves for a long-term success. However, success also depends on their ability to navigate cultural, operational, and strategic complexities effectively. That's all from me. Thank you so much.
Hello, I'm Briana Nadia Aurelia, and I'm gonna answer the second questions. such as plot the position of the following firms on figure 13.6: P&G, IBM, Apple, Coca-Cola, Dow Chemical, Intel, and McDonald's. In each case, justify your answer. As for the P&G, I can say that it deserves the position of high local responsive but moderate cost pressure. Uh, as for the P&G offers a wide range of consumer products such as personal care items and household goods, which often need to be tailored to local tastes and regulatory requirements. For example, like P&G's Ariel detergent is formulated differently in various countries to suit local washing habits and water conditions. Despite this need for local adaptation, P&G also focuses on global efficiencies. The company centralized its R&D and leverage global supply chains to achieve economies of scale, helping to manage costs effectively. As for the IBM, I can say that it deserves the high cost reduction and moderate local responsive, as IBM emphasizes cost reduction through global outsourcing and centralized R&D. For instance, IBM has established research labs in various countries such as US, India, and China, as far as I know, and as far as I research, to innovate while keeping costs down. At the same time, IBM provides localized solutions for its enterprise clients, such as customized IT services and consulting to meet specific regional needs, as this balance allows IBM to be both cost efficient and locally responsive. As for the Apple one, I believe they deserve high cost reduction but low local responsive, as the Apple standardized its products globally, focusing on design, innovation, efficiency to maintain their cost advantage. For example, the iPhones is largely the same worldwide with minimal variations, as this standardization allows Apple to achieve significant economies of scale in production and supply chain management, as Apple's global marketing campaigns also emphasizes consistent brand image, reducing the need for local adaptation. As for the Coca-Cola, I believe it's local responsive but moderate cost pressure, as Coca-Cola moderate to low cost pressure, as the Coca-Cola adapts its marketing strategies and product formulations to suit local taste and cultural preference. For instance, Coca-Cola offers different flavors and sugar flavors in various countries to match local preferences. As despite uh, this local responsive, Coca-Cola benefits from global branding and centralized production strategies. As for the Dow Chemical, I believe it's high cost reduction but low local responsive, as Dow Chemical operates in the chemical industry where standardized production process and cost efficiently are critical. For example, those production of um, polyethylene, polyethylene. Sorry if I'm mistaken, and other bulk chemicals is highly standardized to achieve economies of scale, as the need for local adaptation is limited, allowing the Dow to focusing on reducing costs through efficient production. As for Intel, it is high cost reduction but low local responsive, as Intel emphasizes globally standardized semiconductor production to achieve economies of scale. The nature of its products, such as microprocessors, requires minimal local adaptation, as Intel's manufacturing plants, like those in the US, follow standardized process to ensure high efficiency and cost reduction. As for the McDonald's one, it is high local responsive and low cost pressure, as McDonald's localize its menu items to cater to regional taste and cultural preferences. For example, in Indonesia, McDonald's offer to uh, nasi padang and nasi uduk, uh, which is tailored to local vegetarian preferences. And despite this high local responsives, McDonald's maintains cost efficiency through global sourcing, standardized operation, and economies of scale in its supply chain. As these real-life cases illustrate how each company strategically balances the pressure for cost reduction and local responsiveness to compete effectively in the global marketplace.
Hi, and so now we're looking at the third question. So the third question goes like, in what kind of industries does a localization strategy make sense, and when does a global standardization strategy makes the most sense? So first of all, we'll be looking at what does a localization strategy means. So localization strategy is the company's approach to adapting its products, services, and also its marketing strategies to resonate with specific target markets in different countries or regions. So now we'll be looking at what kind of industries can make sense with a localization strategy. So the first industry that I would be looking at would be industries where customer tastes and preferences vary significantly across the countries. For example, food and beverages. Like different regions have distinct culinary references and also their dietary restrictions. Though therefore localization strategy has to be applied there. And then the next industry that I would say would be fashion, because clothing styles and sizes can vary according to the different cultures and also weather. Therefore, it also an industry that has to be considered too. And then the next industry that I would say that comes under consumer taste and preferences would be cosmetics, because skin tones and beauty standards actually differ according to people and it's significantly different worldwide. And then now we'll be looking at a different category of industries where the local regulations and standardizations are different. Where pharmaceutical industry has drug regulations and approval processes which can actually vary significantly between the countries. And then the automotive is where vehicle safety and its emission standards also differ according to different regions. Therefore, localization strategy has to be applied perfectly at those areas. And then the last place would be it's the where industries where the cultural nuances are important. For example, the marketing. Effective marketing campaigns often require culturally sensitive messaging and imagery. Can't be applied at all places simply, right? So therefore, marketing industry is also important. And then the last industry that I would consider is to be the customer service. Why? Because it has to provide culturally appropriate customer service, which could also enhance their customer satisfaction and loyalty. Therefore, that industry should also come under localization strategy. So now we're looking at the second part of the question, where when does a global standardizing strategy actually make sense? So global standardizing strategy is where a company actually offers the same products or its services in all markets worldwide with minimal or no adaptation to its local preferences. So when does it make the most sense? It makes the most sense when there's a strong pressure for its cost reduction. So when the industry is highly competitive, the companies have to keep costs low to remain profitable. So that's when the global standardization strategy comes up. And the second point is to when the minimal demand for local responsiveness. This happens when the product or service has a universal appeal where it doesn't need to have a significant adaptation for it to go along with its customers. And then the third part which be its economies of scale. So the companies can actually achieve significant cost savings by producing standardized product in large quantities. Therefore, global standardizing strategy actually makes the most sense.
Hi, my name is Muhammad Ilham Kastalani, metric number 231095579. I'm going to answer question number 4. There are 3 questions. The first one is, with more than 200 brands and strong coverage internationally of the different brands, strategically, AB InBev is a unique and highly organized global company. Do they have too many brands? Why or why not? I think, too many or not, it is actually depends on how effective the management is, not on the amount of the brands that the organization have. Because when we have wide brand portfolio, it will boost our market reach, but also it will impact our efficiency. When we have multiple brands, it will allow the company to dominate the global markets by appealing to different preferences, price point, and also cultural demands. The strip factors will ensure international recognition when done correctly. However, managing such a vast portfolio could spread the focus and increase operational complexity for the organization. It will lead to a potential straining of resources, and also if there are less or declining brands, this will also impact the overall performance and also financial performance of the company. Second question, the company follow a focused brand strategy. What positive and negative do you see with this approach? So for the positive side, the first one is resource allocation. Why? Because by concentrating resources on brands with high growth potential, ensure sustainable profitability. And for the second one, cost efficiency. Focused investment promotes better cost management and strategic marketing. And then the third one, market dominance. The strategy enables the company to ensure its position in profitable segment and maintain brand loyalty. And for the negative side, the first one is ignoring unprofitable brands. When we ignore unprofitable brand, it means that we did not give equal support to these brands. It will lead to a market share loss in certain brand and certain market. And then for the last one is risk prone to change. What does that mean? When we rely on few brands for our profitability, of course there will be some risk. Let's say when there is some changes in the consumer preferences or market disruption, when we only rely on a few brands, what will happen when the brands are not profitable anymore, when the consumer does not see the brands as something that they want to buy? Of course it will affect us badly. Question: should a multinational corporation be built on strong principle, or do they need more flexible structure? So AB InBev already have strong principle in their then guiding tenets. It provides a unified vision and motivate employee to work towards common goal. However, corporation also need flexibility to adapt to diverse and evolving market condition. Rigidity in principle might hinder innovation or responsiveness to cultural and economic changes in global market. So what's the best way is a balanced approach combining strong core values with adaptive strategies. It is what we think the most ideal way for long-term success.
Good day, Doctor. I'm Lisha, so I'll carry on with question 5, which is what do you see as the main organizational problem that are likely to be associated with the implementation of a transnational strategy? So, in my opinion, the implementation of a transnational strategy presents several organization challenges, which the first one will be coordinating global operations. So imagine a company like Coca-Cola trying to coordinate its corporations across the globe. They actually face three main challenges, which is first will be complexity, which they have to deal with different laws, cultures and time zones in every country they operate in. For example, a simple marketing campaign might need to be adjusted to be fitted into the local customers and regulations. So second point will be communication barriers, where language differences and cultural differences can lead to misunderstanding. So a direct question in one culture might be considered rude in another, causing friction in team collaboration. So the third point will be information flow, where we have to ensure that important information like sales data or new product developments flow smoothly between different departments and countries, which is crucial for making informed decisions. So delays like this can lead to missed opportunities or costly mistakes. So by addressing these challenges, Coca-Cola actually can ensure its global operations run smoothly and efficiently. Moving on to the second point, which is balancing global and local needs. So we can think of McDonald's, where they actually want a consistent brand worldwide, but they also need to adapt their menus to local tastes. So, for example, Malaysian McDonald's produced new product which is nasi lemak to satisfy the locals. So this means finding the right balance between keeping things the same and changing things up to appeal to customers in different countries. They also need to decide who make the decisions. Does headquarters control everything, or do local managers have some freedom to make changes? It's a balancing act to ensure the brand is strong globally while still being relevant locally. Last but not least, adapting to change. In today's fast paced business environment, companies need to be agile, flexible, and continuously improving to stay ahead of the curve. So, the first one I would like to explain is flexibility, where this involves being able to adapt organizational structures and processes to changing business needs. For example, a company might need to reorganize its teams to better address a new market opportunity or adopt new technology to improve efficiency. So the second point, which is continuous improvement. So this is an ongoing commitment to identify areas for improvement and implementing changes for enhanced performance. For example, a manufacturing company might use data analytics to identify inefficiencies in its production process and implement changes to optimize operations. So the third point I would like to explain is this means being able to quickly respond to changes in the market, such as shifts in consumer demand or the emergence of new competitors. For example, we can say a clothing retailer might need to quickly adjust its inventory to meet unexpected demand for a trending fashion item. So, addressing these challenges requires strong leadership, effective communication, and a clear understanding of the global business environment. The next part of the presentation will be the 10-point summary of case.
Now going to the 10-point summary of case.
Now, for the 10-point case summary of Geely, they were initially founded in 1986, manufacturing refrigerators, but then they entered into the automobile industry in 1997, and now is the second largest private automobile manufacturer in China. And in 2002, they introduced this four-door subcompact sedan free cruiser, which was designed by a South Korean firm Daewoo Motors. Around this time, also Li Shufu, the owner and founder of, was also interested in owning Volvo, which was in 1999 acquired by Ford Motors Company for 6.45 billion. And in 2010, Ford agreed to sell Volvo to Geely for 1.8 billion, which is a severe discount because they were hit by the 2008 recession. And Volvo's brand, coupled with Geely's manufacturing capabilities, is actually a good couple advantage for both of them, since they were able to sell more and also manufacture more cars and up to 150,000 units in a year after the major success. But the acquisition wasn't always a smooth ride, as they noted. In 2012, there was a slight cultural clash because Li Shufu argued that the back seats were important, as the paying customers in the China's culture were sitting at the back seat, while the Volvo executive said they didn't pay much attention to the back seat. Since the acquisition, China also has emerged as a huge market for Volvo because of its safety and elegance brand, and Geely has come out to produce a death-proof car throughout its driving capabilities and technologies. In 2018, also sales of Geely Volvos rose 12.4% year over year to record a new all-time high for Volvo's brand across all regions, contributing 642,000 Volvo sales cars sold for the year. Now, since the acquisition, Geely and Volvo have operated separately, but in 2020 they were in talks of combining the two into a single integrated operations. And with the success of the purchase of Volvo, the acquisition of Volvo, Geely has also started to acquire stakes in different car companies such as Proton, and Daimler-Benz, and also Lotus. Thank you.
Now going to the case discussion question.
So first question is, which of the strategies described in the chapter is Geely pursuing with Volvo? How might this strategy create value for Geely, enabling it to make a positive return on its investment in Volvo? Geely is primarily pursuing a transnational strategy with Volvo. Pursuing a transnational strategy can be useful when a company faces both strong cost pressures and strong pressures for local responsiveness simultaneously. Actually, researchers argue that competitive conditions are so intense that to survive, firms must do all they can to respond to pressures for cost reduction and local responsiveness. This strategy has primarily created value in the form of global efficiency and local responsiveness. Firstly, about global efficiency, Geely will utilize Geely Automobile's strong manufacturing capability in China, while leveraging Volvo's established brand name and engineering expertise, particularly in safety and design. With a global supply chain and standardized processes, producing Volvo vehicles in China and at a new plant in South Carolina will result in significant cost savings and efficiencies. Volvo will remain competitive in international markets, including the growing Chinese market. Next, about local responsiveness, Geely has responded to the demand and preferences of the local market, especially in China. For example, when founders called for more attention to backseat design, it highlighted the importance of local consumer needs. In China, consumers often place more emphasis on the rear seat experience, reflecting cultural preferences, and Geely's ability to influence Volvo design to address local tastes has helped the company gain significant market share in China. The brand image of safety and elegance has been well received by Chinese consumers, leading to significant sales growth in the region. In summary, Geely's transnational strategy has allowed it to leverage Volvo's strong global brands and engineering expertise while tailoring its product offerings specifically to the needs of the Chinese market. This approach has allowed Geely to achieve operational efficiencies, increase market share, and ultimately secure a return on its investment in Volvo.
Hello, I'm Dinda. I will be answering the second question of the case, which is what are the risks associated with Geely's strategy for Volvo? How might internal company factors and micro-environmental changes impact Geely's ability to maximize its return on investment? And what should Geely do to mitigate such risks? So the answer is starting with the risk, which is the misalignment between Geely's and Volvo. So this mismanagement between the cultural differences could lead to the inefficiencies and mistrust and even a failure to leverage the core strength of Volvo. And then the reduced customer trust in the key markets like Europe and then North America, potentially lowering the sales of the high margin vehicles. And also the slowdown in high end vehicle demand could delay the returns on Chile's investment. And also the non-compliance with such regulations could result in fines, increased production costs, or even recalls. And then the supply chain disruptions, like the import or export barriers, or even the reputational harm in regions critical to the success of Volvo. Okay, now going to the impact. The first one is the internal company factor, which is the first one is the strong leadership. Misalignment may hinder decision making of Volvo and Geely, and then the need for continued funding of Volvo innovation in the electric vehicle, and also the operational inefficiency from poor integration between Geely and Volvo. Now going to the micro environmental factors. The first one is the technological disruption. So the automotive industry is undergoing rapid shift with the rise of the electric vehicles, connected cars, and autonomous driving technologies. And then the growing consumer demand for eco-friendly vehicles increases pressure to the accelerate EV production, and also the economic downturns of the rising inflation could reduce the consumer spending on luxury vehicles, especially in major markets like North America and Europe. And then now going to the actual strategy, the first one is the preserving Volvo's brand identity, allowing Volvo to continue operating semi-independently, focusing on its core identity as a premium Europe brand. And also the strengthening cross-cultural collaboration, implement leadership exchange programs and cross-cultural training to build trust and mutual understanding between Geely and also Volvo teams, and then invest heavily in the R&D for electric and auto vehicle to ensure the Volvo remains at the forefront of automotive technology, and then reduce the reliance on any single market by diversifying the production and sales operations globally for the geopolitical diversification, and also the proactively engage with the regulatory bodies in the key markets to ensure that the Volvo vehicles meet or exceed safety in the emission standards. My name is Felicia Kyla, and I will be answering the third question on this daily case. which is in 2017, Geely doubled down on its international expansion with its acquisition of Lotus, a manufacturer of luxury sports cars. What do you think is Geely's objective here? What strategy do you expect Geely to pursue with Lotus? Does this strategy make sense? So, Geely's objective in acquiring Lotus is Geely's acquisition of Lotus, a luxury sports car manufacturer, aligns with its broader ambition to establish itself as a global leader in the automotive industry. The primary objectives likely include like diversification into high-end markets, which means entering the luxury sports car segment to allow Geely to diversify its portfolio and tap into a more niche but highly profitable market. And the second one is leveraging the brand prestige. Lotus has a long-standing reputation for excellence in performing and engineering. Therefore, Geely can actually use this to enhance its brand image globally. The third one is access to advanced technology and expertise. Lotus engineering and research and development capabilities in lightweight and high-performance vehicles could provide Geely with valuable insights for its broader product lines. So Geely is likely to pursue a transnational strategy with Lotus, aiming to the first one is leveraging efficient economics. This means concentrating high-end R&D and engineering in the UK, where Lotus has strong expertise, while benefiting from Geely's manufacturing efficiency in China. Also differentiate product offerings, which means maintain the exclusivity and heritage of Lotus in global markets by emphasizing its British engineering and luxury status. Also skill transfer, which means a multi-directional flow of knowledge, with Lotus contributing advanced sports car technology to Geely's broader operations and Geely's providing manufacturing and supply chain efficiencies to Lotus. Why does this strategy make sense? It makes sense because the first one is balancing cost and differentiation. A transnational approach allows Geely to achieve cost efficiencies, also global market opportunities. As the luxury sports car market is growing, especially in China, where demand for high-status vehicles is strong, Geely can actually capitalize on this demand. Also, Geely's experience managing Volvo and its investment in other high-performance automotive companies create a foundation for effectively integrating Lotus. Thank you so much for paying attention to our presentations. I hope our presentations is clear enough to any of you. Have a good day.